Mhm. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is Antoinette Marie. I hope that you are doing beautiful and fantastic. I'm coming on a bit early today because I had to, and I wanted to keep my commitment to you as well as to my family. And so, as we get into this, you know how we start off. Go ahead and call somebody and let them know purpose living is on. I'll be right back.
Hello, beloved. This is Antoinette Marie. I believe that every one of us is born with a purpose. No matter who you are, what you do, or how far you think you have to go, you have been tapped by a force greater than yourself to step into your God-given calling. And I also believe that each one of us has an essential role in the whole of humanity. You see, the purpose of me creating Antoinette Marie Speaks is to offer the wisdom of experience from visionaries, artists, teachers, and trailblazers who have walked this road before you and who have shared their inspiration and lessons with me. So let's go. Let's take this journey together and let's discover the purpose for your life on this earth. This is Antoinette Marie Williams.
So, welcome back. I am really, really excited to be here with you again. And, my 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 doggy is with us also today, and so just like a kid, they always want attention, and so that's basically what's happening right now. And so, how are you? How has your week gone? Today is a really fantastic week. I want to say, hey, YouTubers and hey, Facebookers. I want to say thank you for joining me on today. Today is a fantastic and great day. So if you see me doing a lot of movement, forgive me. That's just because Sydney wants some attention on today, and there is nothing wrong with that. And so I want to get my notes here today. Tell me a little bit when you come into the room, who you are, and hey, Prince. Yeah, you did. And so when you come on today, just let me know who you are, and that would be fantastic and great. And Sydney and I, we're going to have a conversation with you on today. And we're talking about, today, we are speaking about letting go. And I wanted to speak about this because someone had a conversation with me. And one of the things that they began to say was, it's the end of the year, it's coming, and they don't necessarily know how they're going to let some things go in their lives. And they didn't want to take what they had gone through last year, right? They didn't want to bring that stuff in to this year. And so one of the things that I began to do, was to just to encourage them and let them know that, hey, what you went through last year, is not necessarily the same as what you may be thinking that you're going to be going through this year. And so I think we should talk a little bit about that on today. So I want to make sure on my volume, I am Prince World Changer. Absolutely. Absolutely. You are Prince World Changer. Thank you so much. I love it, Prince. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, Tina, thank you for joining me on today. So, and so that was one of the things that has really, really been on my mind. And as many of you know, I do, in times past, I've done a lot of work here on social media, specifically around healing. And loud and clear. Thank you. But I'm going to have him to get down because he's like doing a whole lot today. And one of the things when I do work, and particularly when it comes to healing, is I had to go and through my own process, right? To be able to go through my own process of healing and really understanding what that looked like. And I think many times we have a continuation when it comes to healing, because we're humans, and people that hurt us or offend us, most of them are human as well. But today, I wanted to really, really kind of get into this space about letting go. Like, there are some things in our lives. There's some things in our lives where we really do just got to let some stuff go, let some situations go, and let some people go, right? And I know many times when we say let people go, he's such a baby. I know many times when we say let people go, it's like, oh, wow, I can't, what do you mean? You know, I'm not supposed to let people go. Sometimes in life, I love you too. Sometimes in life, you will have to either let people go or you will starve to death. Come on, God. You will either have to let people go or literally you will starve to death. And I know, beloved, that may sound like, oh my God, what does that mean? Listen, we can't continue to think that other human beings are going to be able to give you what they don't have, right? Like, I can't ask someone to give me the type of let's just put it towards money, which I don't want to do it towards that, but just for sake. I can't ask someone to give me $100 and they're saying to you, I don't even have $100. I don't have 100 to give you. And what happens is that we want to have love in our lives so much. We want to be accepted so often. We want people to treat us the way that we would treat them. And let me tell you something. That's not always how it happens. So for you, you may be a very kind individual. You may have a lot of empathy. Some people just don't have it to give. And that is the piece that hurts. That's the piece that hurts. And so today, as we're talking about letting go, and I didn't think I would have my doggy in my hand right now, so I can't even really look at my notes. But there are going to be times in your life, and I say even right now, if you know something, and you've heard this so many times, Prince, you've heard this so many times, Carrie, if something is no longer serving you, why do we keep going back to it? Why do we keep giving situations benefits of doubts, or people, well, let me give them the benefit of the doubt. Listen, when people show you who they are, you guys have heard this, and ladies and gentlemen, please believe them. But what we don't understand about that statement is that Maya Angelou actually said, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. And what a lot of times where our frustration comes in, come on, God, is that people show us who they are and we don't believe that that's who they are. People show us who they are and then we'll come back and we'll say, oh, well, they didn't really mean that. People will demonstrate to us who they are and then we come back and we're like, oh, they had a bad day. Oh, they were intoxicated. Oh, they were so stop. I want to say this to you. Stop making excuses for people. When people show you who they are the first time, then believe them. And you're absolutely right, Carrie. Or we'll come back and say, I can change that person. You can only change one person, and that's you. You can only change you. You can't change how someone else feels about a certain situation. You can only change how you feel about you can only change how you feel about a certain situation. And a lot of times what happens, this dog is 40 pounds, by the way. Okay, I don't know. He's just been a big baby today. So a lot of times what happens, okay, you okay? You're not okay. A lot of times what happens is that we like a project. And sometimes we have to just tell the truth about that. We want a project. And because we want or desire a project, we are willing to compromise ourselves for the project. We're willing to look at a situation and say, you know what? I know this might not be the best thing. It might not be the best thing, but yet we are still placing ourselves in situations when we know that that situation is not the best thing, when we know that that person or that job or whatever it is, whatever the partnership, we know that it's not the best thing. But what do? Because we want it so much, we will decide to compromise. And I want to say this to you today. Hey, Ryan, I want to say this to you today. Let's stop compromising. Let's know when it's time to let something go. Because have you ever thought about this? And I'm going to put him down. Come on, get down. All right, good job. Lay down. Have you ever, this is live TV, y'all. Sit down. Good job. Have you ever thought about this? That when we are trying to hold on to a situation or hold on to whatever it is, and you've been praying, God, give me this. God, show me this. God, bring this to me. God, open up doors, open up the windows of heaven, so that we're asking all of that. And then when God does it in a way that we did not format, then we're questioning, is this God? If your hands are always closed, how can you receive? And so as I speak today, I want us to stop doing a couple things. I want us to, and particularly when it comes to relationships, if you know that there is something in your life that you need to let go, I'm asking you today to let it go. I'm asking you today to just say, you know what? I know that every single time I think about this situation, because it doesn't have to be a person, it can be a situation. So every time I think about this situation, you know the feelings that you get. Put them in the comment section. You know the feelings that you get. You get upset. You get hot behind behind your neck. You start tapping your feet or tapping your fingers on your leg. That situation. If it's a human being, you know what it is. You know that when you're done with that situation, and yet you know that they work at Macy's, why are you going to Macy's? At that point of the separation, you may not be able to handle that. Some people can handle that because they really done. Right? So I want to say this to you. If it is a human being, I want you to stop rewinding. Stop replaying what happened. Stop having the resentment of the situation. I want you to think about this differently now, right? I want you to think about how much more great your life would be if you discontinued replaying what happened. Some of us, we continue to replay what has happened to us in our lives because we have given up. Some of us continue to replay the negative things that have happened in our lives because we just want to feel this sense of, what about me? So I want to say this to you today. You are altogether great. You're altogether worthy. You're altogether beautiful. So as I look right here, I have my vision board. And one of the things that's on here says, I am whole, I am enlightened. I am with all who God has told me to be. I am significant. I do bring in great and beautiful light. I attract other light beings. I fear nothing. So there are going to be times in your life where you may love somebody, but you still have to back away from the situation. I want us to start just hitting the stop button. When you find yourself thinking about that situation, when you find yourself thinking about that person, when you find yourself, thinking about like, what could I have done differently? I want you to take 3 really great deep breaths. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Because I remember somebody saying something to me as I was telling them my story. Hey, Facebook. As I was telling them my story. And I just went on and on and on and on and on. And I probably spoke for 20 minutes straight. And this individual said to me, do you practice deep breathing? And I was like, no, because I'm telling you the story. And so that helped me tremendously for me to go back and think, listen, stop rewinding what has happened and push forth in the greatness of your life. Because this is what I do know, is that when you continue to bring in that energy, you continue to manifest that energy. It's that energy. It's all of that that really predicates holding us back. See, nobody is holding you back, Ryan. Nobody is holding you back. Share this video. Nobody is has their foot on your neck, or nobody is holding you. Nobody is holding us back except for the person that's in the mirror. So let go of that energy, because that energy is what's holding you back. What you are speaking many times is what's holding you back. Let go of the grudges. If you have situations and things that have happened to you in your life, I want to say to you today, beloved, let it go. And when you let it go, don't hold a grudge. Let me give you an example. So many of you know that I used to work for a really great company. When I was there, it was a really great company. And it's probably a really great company now. And one of the things that I end up seeing today in the news, something about that particular company. And when I saw that information, one of the things that I said, good morning, LaRon. One of the things that I said, you have those aftershocks. I call them aftershocks. When you have had a situation, have not did you the right way, or the situation was just really messed up. You start to have aftershocks. So this morning I started having an aftershock of like, wow, they eliminated my position and now they're in the paper and it looks like they're doing some really great things. Let me tell you what I had to do. I had to stop my own self. I had to listen. I know people are many times are saying, oh, don't talk back to yourself. Let me say this to you. You better talk back to yourself. You better calm your own self down. You know your own voice. So I had to, just this morning, I had to say, hold on, Antoinette Marie. They are doing good things in the community before that thing took root. So sometimes you got to catch it When the seed has just been thrown, I had to catch the seed up here, up here. Good morning, Brandy. And I had to catch it. Good afternoon. And I had to be like, hold on, hold on. I've already let that situation go, let that company go. I'm not holding a grudge. And so that's what I am asking for you to do. Is don't hold a grudge. There are going to be times in your life, absolutely. There's times in your life where you're going to say to you better speak to yourself. Speak greatness over your life. You have the capacity to program your mind, your brain, whatsoever man or woman thinketh, and you have that capacity to tell yourself, listen, I'm not doing that anymore. Listen, I'm not holding a grudge anymore about that person, about that agency, about that business, about that transaction anymore. And the reason why you have to let go and not hold a grudge is because what happens is that grudge weighing actually weighs you down. It weighs you down. You could hear someone and they're talking about the company or the organization or the product or the individual, and you just go into a whole whatever. That's weight. Oh, I don't know why you think that they so good. That's weight. That's weight. We already are carrying our entire temple, our whole entire body. We don't need to carry additional weight that God did not tell us to carry. It's too heavy for you, beloved. And you don't have to. It's unnecessary. And it is not fruitful for you to continue to carry such a weight that is not yours. But what happens is that we make it ours because we haven't let it go. Many of us, I've said before, is that you can still love someone, but you don't always have to be in that person's presence. Because if you know that someone that is in your life, and every time they come to have conversation, it's always about something negative. Oh, this ain't right. Oh, the weather is bad. Oh, my goodness. Oh, this. I'm never going to. Listen, we don't have time for that, beloved. We really don't. We don't have time. Neither do you have the capacity up here. You don't have it up here because what goes up here comes in here. And what comes here, here, here. And then after here, it's going to manifest itself. We don't have time for that. If there are certain people, and I know I know a lot of times we will make excuses for other human beings and we will say, oh, that's just their way. Well, I want to say this to you. It's going to come a time in your life where you're going to have to say, this is just my way of keeping my own spirit whole, of keeping my body whole, of keeping my mind on the right track, that I can no longer allow for my spirit to be engaging in around negativeness or negativity. Sometimes you're going to have to let it go. You're going to have to let some situations go. And I know and I believe in you. I know that you can do it. I know that you can do it. I don't want you, because with the weight, many times what happens is that you become stuck. Anything that's too heavy, you become stuck. You can't carry it any longer on your back. Think about it. If those of you that have children, once your child is 5 and 6, you can't carry them on your back anymore. The why? Because the weight, beloved, is too heavy. And let me say this with all love. With another adult, you can't carry it. It's too heavy. If you weigh 180 pounds and that weight is 280 pounds, doesn't that mean it's too heavy? Doesn't that also mean that what they are bringing to a situation, it overshadows and outweighs you? So how do you think now you're going to be thinking? All that negativity. I'm asking you to relinquish it and to let it go on today. Anything that weighs you down, let it go. And I don't want you to pick it back up. I want you to let it go forever. I want you to take some time, even this weekend, and say, you know what? Listen, if you have to go, whether it's individuals, whether it's a business or a situation, and you have to sit, I don't care if it's in the restroom, and you have to just speak and you say, you no longer serve me. I can no longer be a part of this situation. I can no longer continue to subject my mind to this negativity. Speak what you want. Speak how you want your life to be. We call it now manifesting. We speak out of our mouth what we want to see. Speak that. And anything that is weighing you down to an aspect where you wake up in the morning and you're sad, you go to sleep and you're sad, you have anxiety, you having panic attacks, you're depressed, let it go. Let it go. Let that situation go. You've done all that you can do. You've said all that you could say to try to help the situation, and they still didn't listen. They still don't respect you. They still don't honor you. Let it go. You can still be kind. Come on, God. You can still be kind and have let a situation go. You can still be kind and be respectful and have let the situation go. Because here's the thing. You will not be able to change any other human being. You won't be able to change how they perceive you. You won't be able to change on how they think that you may or may not be talking about them. You won't be able to change other human beings. We started this conversation off earlier, just speaking about that. You can't change people. Sometimes for us, it's hard for us to even change ourselves. It's hard for us to pivot ourselves. It's hard sometimes and difficult for us to reposition ourselves. So, why do you think that you have the capacity, the capability, the talent, the maneuvering to change someone else? What you can do is to be great. What you can do is to honor people. And sometimes honoring people is not placing yourself in a situation where they're going to be there. Oh, come on, God. That's good word right there. That's the honor. Many times that's how you honor people. You know who you are. You know God ain't, through with us. And if you get in a situation, somebody, press the right buttons, you will say some stuff and you be like, oh, don't do that. So I know Thanksgiving is next week. I know it is. This is my number one and favorite, as we call it here in America, my favorite holiday. I enjoy Thanksgiving because it gives me a time to write cards, and it gives me a time to see my kiddos, and it gives me a time to cook, and I love me some sweet potatoes, y'all. I love me some yams and sweet potatoes, and I just love it. But I want to say this to you. When you know that you cannot be in the presence of someone because of the hurt that they have shown you, or they've been disrespectful, or they've been ornery, or whatever the situation is. Who says that you have to go and put yourself in that situation? You don't have to do that. And I want to say this to you. Honoring them sometimes is not showing up because you showed up for yourself. Oh, that's good. You honor someone by honoring yourself. There are sometimes going to be people in your life that have hurt, harmed, or endangered you. And people are going to come to you and say, oh, you should just forget about it. Let them go. They done found out who God is. That's great. And that's beautiful for them. That's beautiful. However, forgiveness, beloved, does not necessarily mean re-engaging in a dangerous situation. That was for somebody. I know that. And that's the point of letting things go. When you let situations go, then you can now, come on, God, Jesus, then you can then have your hands open and able to receive what God is giving you, what God is trying to get to you. If you relinquish the situation, if you relinquish your mind and stop thinking, what are people going to say? How are people going to see me? Oh, people are not going to see me as a team player. What I want to say to you today, how is God seeing you? That's one and foremost. But how do you see yourself? How do you see yourself? Can you go to sleep at night? Can you go to sleep at night knowing that you did not go against what you know your spirit has told you to do because you don't want to look out of place? Some of us, we go to places, we place our spirit being into places that compromise our own integrity because we don't want to hurt other folk. We don't want to hurt our parents. We don't want to hurt our mom, our dad, our grandparents, our spouse, but we compromise. Thank you, Jesus. We compromise the great I am that dwells within us because we are so stuck on what are they going to say? But I would suggest to you today, beyond what are people going to say, what is God going to say? What are you sensing? And I know many times at Thanksgiving, we make decisions. We go to people's houses, people that have offended us, people that have defiled us, people have done certain things. And we sit there at a Thanksgiving table and we're not able to think, we're not able to eat, we're not able to be present. And that's the part of this. Don't go places where you know that you cannot be. Come on, somebody. Do not compromise your fullness and who God is to you because of what somebody else is saying or what you think somebody else is saying. Be fully you every single day. That's my prayer, is that I am always waking up and being fully present, being fully me. And if somebody does not like it, that is not your issue. That's their issue, right? I want to say this to you too. Let go so you can actually grow. And not only let go so you can grow, but I also want you to flow. You know, God has given us life. And the good book says that he would want us to have life and that more abundantly. Not just abundant, but more abundantly. Beloved, it's difficult and hard to be, capital B, capital E, if we are not growing. And in your growing space, you have to be able to flow. Flow means that you're living in your authentic truth. Flow means that you have a voice and you can speak that voice without having to feel as though that you have to pull back who you know God has told you to be. Come on, God. You don't have to be and put yourself in compromising situations where you know that people are going to have you to minimize yourself. When you minimize yourself and you knowing that you are, come on, God, when you know that you have been divinely appointed here on this planet called Earth by the great God, the great I am, the all living, the all knowing, and now you have to draw back because somebody else don't like you or some situation don't feel that you are worthy or some even within yourself. I'm here to declare and to decree. Come on, Jesus. I'm here to declare and to decree you are good all by yourself because God is good and God dwells within you. Never place yourself in compromising situations. Keep your integrity. Keep that. That belongs to you. In places that you can grow, that's where you should be. And that's where the Almighty wants you to be. Places where you can grow. And as you grow, then there's going to be places where you can flow. You don't have to be in a situation where you're just like, oh my God, and then you have an anxiety and panic attacks because you got to go someplace. Listen, tell these folks no. No is a complete sentence. God is with you. Sometimes we are so afraid of being by ourselves. Sometimes we are so afraid of telling people no. But today, you have permission. And you didn't even need it. But you have permission to tell people no. You have permission to tell people, you know what, I can't do it right now, but I can maybe in a week from now. Or this is what I always like to do in business. My schedule is at its capacity. And I don't see it really opening up for the next couple of weeks. However, I do know someone that can help you with that. I do know someone that could be a better resource for you. You can do that. Yes, you can, Tina. You can do that, right? Let go so that you can grow. And as you grow, you will definitely continue to flow. Here's the other thing, and I'm almost done. I want you to release the idea that people would do what you would do. Release the idea that how God has created you and the work that you have done in the space of healing and the work that you have done to have great empathy for people. Everybody don't have empathy for other human beings, y'all. So I want you to release the idea that you don't understand why they would treat someone this way because you wouldn't treat somebody that way. Everybody is not like you. Philip, everybody is not like you. Carrie, everybody's not like you. Minister Evergrace, everybody's not like you. Brandy, everybody's not like you. So sometimes we have to relinquish some of these ideas that we don't understand why people do certain things because people are people and people are not like you. Thank God that you have a great and kind spirit. But people are not going to do what you always want them to do. And neither are you going to do what other people want you to do. You always hear people say, if I was you, but you're not. And neither am I you. And that's okay, right? And that's okay. I also want to challenge you to let people be who they are. I posted something like this yesterday. I think the more I grow and flow, I'm in this space of knowing that I am only responsible for myself. I challenge you to marinate in that logic that, Philip, you are only responsible for what you do within yourself. Now, of course, if you have minor children, that's a whole nother conversation, right? You are responsible for who and what you do in your temple and what comes out of your mouth. We got to stop. Oh, oops, I didn't mean that. Yes, you did, because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth shall speak. And the mouth will speak what we are thinking. The mouth will speak what we are thinking, what we are meditating on, what we are concentrating on. What is it that you're concentrating on? What is it that you are meditating on? In the last week, think about it. My last point today is when we decide to let situations go, that you are blessing yourself, that you are acknowledging yourself. But when we don't, it costs so much time. You're giving away so much energy to something that no longer serves you anymore, to something that no longer is or has your best interests. Doesn't always have to be a person. I've said time and time again, I was at a job and I knew it was time for me to leave. I knew it was time for me to exit. And I stayed until literally I was pushed out. Don't do that. When you know, my Aunt Susie says, I know that I know that I know that I know. When you know, nobody has to tell you. You don't have to be persuaded because God already is fully persuading you. When you know a situation is done, you have to let it go. You have to relinquish yourself. You have to, and when I say relinquish yourself, I mean don't even be connected to it anymore. If it's costing you great time and energy, and you know that it is not serving you, it's not benefiting you, you're just doing it just because of an image. Hey, Tasha, because we're so effervescently fixed on image. What would people say? What would people think about me? What would people do? They wouldn't follow me anymore. They would defriend me, unfriend me. Oh my goodness, what my family think. Let it go. Because they may be thinking that, oh my goodness, I can't believe you did that. And it'll go away in about 2 weeks. It will go away in about a month. Because people are not sitting thinking about what you are doing every single day. People have their own lives. And sometimes, all the time, beloved, we have to just mind our own business. We got to mind our own business. Mind your own business. While you looking at what somebody else is doing, what's going on in your world? What's going on in your world? So if we could just think about that, let people be who they are going to be. You can't stop people from being who they really are. You can't even stop yourself. You know that you like Culver's. You know that you like City Grill. You know that you might like whatever the restaurant is. Think about your favorite restaurant. You know when you come from getting off that plane, Panera, whatever it's called, you know you're going to these restaurants. Nobody's going to change that with you. I also want you to really identify and know the only person that you can change is yourself. And many times we know we need some things that we need to change, improve on. And guess what? It's hard for us to do it for ourselves. So what makes us think we're going to be able to change somebody else? We blame it on a lot of things. Oh, they're just having a bad day. No, we got to stop that. Not just about having a bad day. Okay, I love you. My last thing is, we talked about it costing you time and energy. There is a road to a better life. I just want you to ask yourself, why aren't you living it? Why aren't you living it? I challenge you to live a great and dynamic life. I comfort you in knowing that there is a great life out here for us to live and to enjoy and to smile and to have fun. And I'm going to say this to you. Ask yourself this. Do you always want to be right? Or do you want to have peace? Do you always want to be right, or do you want to have peace? I'm going to say to you today, select peace and let it go. Select the warmth, the nourishment, the grace, and let it go. Don't worry. Don't be concerned about what people are saying. Don't be concerned about how you're going to be perceived. You don't know how people are going to perceive you. So let it go. Thank you, Vaniqua. I would rather have peace than to be right. I would rather have peace than to have a whole bunch of money and that's all I had. I would rather live in peace and purpose than to continue to try to do something that I know God has not told me to do. I would rather have peace than to be in any relationship where I know people don't even like me, but I'm doing it because somebody else told me to. I'm doing it because it looks good. I would rather have peace. Wouldn't you rather have peace? And I know people would say, oh my goodness, how could you let that go? And how could you forgive that person? Listen, the forgiveness was not mine to give. God forgave me for so much. And I know, see, that's the peace that surpasses all understanding, where people are like, oh my goodness, if I was you and they did that to me, I could never. I know, but you're not me and I'm not you. So today, I want to tell you, God loves you. I love you. And let the peace of God surround you in your life every single day, that you can wake up in the morning and have made a decision that you're going to live on the side of peace. You're going to be peace. How about you be peace? How about when people see you walking around in Macy's, the grocery store, Kroger's, Publix, Piggly Wiggly, wherever, Pick and Save, they say, woo, man, she has a lot of peace. What is that? How about that? Are you able to do that? Are you able to do that? I love you. And I want you to live life abundantly. Philip, Minister Evergrace, live it abundantly. Brandy, live it abundantly. Because that peace that surpasses all understanding, Dr. King, Ryan King, nobody can give that to you. Nobody can give you that but God. I don't care how much the contract is. Can't nobody give you that peace like the great I am, how God can give it. Peace cannot be purchased. Oh, Jesus. Peace cannot be purchased. I want to say that to you on today. I love you. I hope and pray that you are having a fantastic and beautiful day. And until next time, love on people that you know that love is the answer. Love truly is the answer. That's my husband walking in. And I want to say, I love you. Let your children know that they are important to you. And even if they don't seemingly reciprocate that, it has nothing to do with you. You are peace and you are love. This is Antoinette Marie, and you have just been in Purpose Living. I will speak to you soon. Take care.
Hello, beloved. This is Antoinette Marie. You know, I believe that every one of us is born with a purpose. No matter who you are, what you do, or how far you think you have to go, you have been tapped by a force greater than yourself to step into your God-given calling. And I also believe that each one of us has an essential role in the whole of humanity. You see, the purpose of me creating Antoinette Marie Speaks is to offer the wisdom of experience from visionaries, artists, teachers, and trailblazers who have walked this road before you and who have shared their inspiration and lessons with me. So let's go. Let's take this journey together and let's